For all of our viewers across Africa and the rest of the world, this is NC Continental Prime. I am Dapo, Adegboye. Our coverage begins in West Africa, where marketers of the premium motor spirit, PMS, popularly known as Petrol in Nigeria, have raised the alarm over the lightness of the product in some retail outlets, noting that this is inferior to the quality the Nigerian Midstream and Upstream Regulatory Authority approved. They described some of the products imported to Nigeria as evaporating and undurable. Now, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria National Vice President John Keke Ocha broke the news at Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria National Executive Council in Abuja. According to him, lack of adequate legitimate domestic refining of petroleum has paved the way for the importation of all manners of products to meet consumer needs. Now, joining me to better understand this is Dr. Nnaemeka Onyeka, a development economist. Thank you so much for your time. All right, let's get straight to it. Now, marketers of the premium motor spirit, popularly known as Petrol, have raised alarm over the lightness of the product in some retail outlets. Now, noting that it is inferior to the quality that, of course, is being approved by the Nigerian Midstream and Upstream Regulatory Authority. Now, who should be held accountable here? Dr. Nnaemeka, I guess you're muted. We're unable to hear you.
Actually,
it's better now.
I view this revelation as, very laughable. Let me explain to you why I see it as very laughable. As of today, the sole importer of petroleum premium motor spirits into Nigeria is NMDPRA. There is no single marketer in Nigeria outside the NMDPRA that is involved in production of the PMS. Why is this so? It is so because the PMS is being subsidized in quote. As of today, the FOB price offshore loan of the PMS, if you are to look at it objectively, is about 900 naira per liter. As of today, the PMS is still being dispensed at 570, which simply means the federal government of Nigeria is subsidizing the PMS without announcing that they are subsidizing it. So wholly, the products being imported into Nigeria are done by the NMDPRA. And I don't think NMDPRA will go out there to go and import substandard product. There's no competition out there that you will say, okay, marketer A imported substandard product to be able to outmeet marketer B or marketer C. Whole importation of PMS into Nigeria, gasoline, is done by the NMDPRA. So when I read that news item that the premium motor spirit that is being imported is substandard, I see it as very laughable because even the regulators cannot allow such products into Nigeria without going through it, checking the parameters and all the rest of them. The parameters for gasoline, the parameters for gas oil, the parameters for it, or any other petroleum product into Nigeria is clearly defined. They are clearly defined. So like I said to you, I don't believe that story. I do not believe it one bit.
Yeah, when you say not believe in it, so quite a number of individuals like myself, buy petrol, and one would say, okay, in Nigerian naira, you spend, say, maybe 20,000 to about 30,000 naira to, of course, buy petrol, and then you realize that probably after a few trips or maybe a few days, it looks like nothing is in the tank. It's literally struggling to move, or pick up on the road. Are you saying that in terms of the quality of petrol being imported, are you saying that cannot be compromised?
It cannot be compromised. Let me tell you why it cannot be compromised. We have only one importer, and that is NMDPRA. And the NMDPRA, for whatever reason, has no reason to begin to import substandard products into Nigeria. And you also mentioned the fact that perhaps that you consume more than you used to consume before in your car. Let us not also understand that, there is something I used to tell you. When you fill the tank of your car, and of course your car gauge reads that it is filled up. When your car is filled up, the rate of burning of that car is always slower when compared to when you do your quarter tank or you do your half tank, because there is an air pressure that exerts more in the cylinder if it is not, you do not have full tank. Most Nigerians now are not buying full tank. because of the economic situation. I've tried it before. When I fill up my tank, my petrol lasts longer than when I don't have tank of water tank. These are the realities here. So I also buy fuel. Today I bought fuel into my car, and the quality of the fuel that I purchased never looked inferior to what I used to purchase. So I'm talking from practical experience. I bought fuel from Adegboye filling station in Lagos. I want to be precise. The quality of petroleum product I brought there, the same thing. I am into petroleum product marketing. So when I see an inferior material, I will know. So I don't know where those products are referring to. They should be specific. If man should tell us the filling stations where they got those products from, then we can begin to look at it from that parameters. But for now, you cannot just blanket say that NNPC imported and this. I don't believe that's true. It is laughable.
Now, one of the reasons they gave for this, or that could be responsible for this, is the lack of adequate, legitimate domestic refining of the product, which of course has paved way for the importation of all manner and grades of products to meet consumer needs. First, what do you make of this assertion? And then number two, do you think enough is being done to actually encourage local refining?
Let me explain this to you. In a very competitive market, investors will flood into the market. I'll give you an example. South Africa do not have up to 5% of the crude oil capacity of Nigeria. In South Africa today, we have refineries with a combined refining capacity of 504,000 barrels a day producing. Why do you think most modular refineries in Nigeria today concentrate mostly in production of only DPK and diesel? I will explain to you. Gas oil is fully deregulated. So any investor that is coming in to establish a modular refinery that produces gas oil knows fully well that even if he is buying products from the international market at a competitive pricing, he will sell at a competitive pricing locally without being crashed out or being crowded out by regulatory overbearance. Why most refineries are not being established in Nigeria? Why the likes of Shell, the likes of Chevron, the likes of Total that have refineries in other countries in Africa are not in Nigeria, not the same thing in Nigeria? Because our market is still not fully deregulated. You know, I give kudos to the current government, federal government of Nigeria. They took the bull by the horn by fully deregulating the market. Nigerians cried foul. I can tell you, because that is one funny thing that most of us don't understand. Yes, in as much as things are hard, I feel for the average Nigerian. But as long as we do not yet fully liberalize this market, as long as we do not yet privatize the refineries or get them fully working, no private investor, listen to me again, no private investor who understands his numbers will invest billions of dollars to up a refinery in an environment where the market is still not fully deregulated. Deregulation and openness of the market allows free entry and free exit. When a market is very competitive, what government should be subsidizing is production, not consumption. As long as we keep on subsidizing consumption and not allowing the market to be transparent, to be efficient, to allow free entry and free exit, competitively priced, no honest investor will invest his money in any economy, in any sector, where he is not sure of the pricing model. The same thing with the gas market. The MITO, or the even in power, is still subsidized. You know, we cannot eat our cake and have it. I clearly understand the economic, but I tell you, the only way we can allow this market to function freely is for us to put our subsidies on production. In America today, my agri entrepreneurs, those in the food commodity sector, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, they subsidize production. Subsidizing production will allow local economies, the local factories, the local manufacturers and producers to thrive.
All right, I want to pick you.
Subsidize consumption. What basically you do is you're subsidizing employment and industry in other nations.
All right, I want to pick you. Okay, I want to pick you on the subsidy word you use. Now, it's been alleged, according to Pankinson, that subsidy in terms of petrol has returned, to some extent. Yet, I mean, when you look at the amount Nigerians still spend today fueling their cars and spending on transportation, it's still astronomically, to a very large extent high. Now, how sustainable is this, will I call it trajectory right now, this trend in terms of, cost of buying fuel and transportation? And what do you make of the, assertion that according to Pengerson that subsidy is back.
Okay, let me give you, subsidy is back fully. Like I mentioned to you, the FOB price of gasoline offshore load is about 900 naira per liter. We are buying it at 570 at the filling station and maybe 600 in other at the hinterlands of Nigeria. That simply means the difference is being subsidized by the federal government of Nigeria. By whatever name they call it, subsidy is back. Now, but I want us to understand this. Let me take Lagos for example. Out of the over 5 million cars registered in Lagos State, only 200,000 are for commercial purposes. The rest are private owned cars. Most of the articulated vehicles that move commodities from the hinterland, food commodities into the cities, use diesel, the gas oil. And the gas oil is fully deregulated. When we make this argument, petrol prices affect food commodities, that is not entirely true. It can affect transport within the intracity. But most of the articulated trucks, the haulage vehicles that move goods across states, use diesel. And diesel is fully deregulated. And I want to appeal to Nigerians. Sometimes the government wants to look at the opinion of the masses, the opinion of the people, and rather than take some hard-hitting decisions, they will cover. Like now, subsidy is back. And I know why subsidy is back. Subsidy is back because they are looking at the wailing and crying of the average Nigerians. Understandable. But the only way we can is, okay, look at Le Pen, look at TUC, look at NLC. I feel so disgusted when I see members of NLC, TUC, or Pengerson, lampooning the government. For 8 good years under the Buhari regime, Nigeria wasted over 16 trillion naira on subsidies, on turnaround maintenance program that failed at the refineries, on losses. On an annual basis, we are losing about 120 billion naira on the refineries. We were spending 67 billion naira paying wages and salaries of members of TUC who are in the refineries, working at refineries.
Nnaemeka, we need to
ask yourself, if those refineries were owned by private individuals, there's no private that will set up refinery for 8 years, refining nothing, and it will pay staff salaries of 67 billion.
All right.
And the same staff will have the effrontery to come out and be demonstrating and threatening to go.
All right, Nnaemeka, I'm sorry.
They are working in.
I'm sorry, but we need to go at this point. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.